Namaste, and once again welcome back to another session of online mathematics class. Today we are going to discuss some important problems from miscellaneous exercise on chapter 6. Last class we have discussed some problems from the same exercise. Today we can discuss the remaining problems. Let's start. Now we shall discuss the next question. Find the points at which the function f given by f of x equal to x minus 2 the whole raised to 4 into x plus 1 the whole cube has first one local maxima, second local minima, third point of inflection. Okay, first of all we can write the function f of x is equal to x minus 2 the whole raised to 4 into x plus 1 the whole cube. Now we can take the derivative f dash of x equal to, here we can apply the product rule, x minus 2 the whole raised to 4 into 3 into x plus 1 the whole square. Okay, then plus x plus 1 the whole cube into 4 into x minus 2 the whole cube. We can take the common terms, x minus 2 the whole cube into x plus 1 the whole square is common. The remaining is 3 into x minus 2 then plus 4 into x plus 1, which is equal to x minus 2 the whole cube into x plus 1 the whole square into 3x minus 6 plus 4x plus 4, which is equal to x minus 2 the whole cube, then x plus 1 the whole square, 3x plus 4x, 7x minus 6 plus 4 minus 2. Now we can equate if dash of x to 0. If dash of x equal to 0 implies x minus 2 the whole cube into x plus 1 the whole square into 7x minus 2 is equal to 0. Or we can write x minus 2 the whole cube equal to 0, or x plus 1 the whole square is equal to 0, or 7x minus 2 is equal to 0. From this we can find the values of x. Here x equal to 2, or x equal to minus 1, or x equal to 2 by 7. So these are the critical points. The values of x are 2, minus 1 and 2 by 7. Okay. Here in order to find the points of local maxima, local minima and point of inflection, we can apply the first derivative test. Okay. For that we can mark on number line. Here we can mark the points minus 1, 2 and 2 by 7. So minus 1, then on 2 by 7, then 2. Okay. Now we have to check the sign of f dash of x. Okay, as x increases through c. So by first derivative test, if f dash of x changes sign from positive to negative as x increases through c, then we can conclude it is a point of local maxima. Okay, and f dash of x changes sign from negative to positive, then we can say it is a point of local minima. And there is no sign change. F dash of x doesn't changes its sign as x increases through c, then c is called a point of inflection. Okay, here we can take the point minus 1 first. In order to check the change of sign, we have to consider one point which is sufficiently close to and to the left of minus 1. So here we can take the number as x equal to minus 2. Okay, minus 2 is less than minus 1 and it is very close to minus 1. Okay, and we have to substitute the value here, f dash of x. F dash of x is x minus 2 the whole cube, x plus 1 the whole square, 7x minus 2. So here f dash of x becomes minus 2 minus 2, minus 4 the whole cube, the sign is negative. So minus into, and in the next term, minus 2 plus 1 the whole square. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1, and while taking the square, it becomes positive. So in the second term, it is positive. Then into 7 into minus 2. 7 into minus 2 is minus 14. minus 14 minus 2 minus 16. It is negative. Okay, so minus into plus into minus, overall the sign is positive. Okay, so here we can write on the left of minus 1 the sign is positive. Okay, now we have to consider a number which is sufficiently close to and to the right of minus 1. Let it be 0. So when x equal to 0, we have to check the sign of f dash of x. Here also we can apply the same method. 0 minus 2 cube is minus negative. Then 0 plus 1 the whole square, it is positive. 7 into 0, 0. 0 minus 2 is minus 2, so negative. So here the overall sign is plus. Minus into plus into minus, positive. So here also positive. That means there is no change in sign. F dash of x doesn't change sign as x increases through the point minus 1. Therefore, what we can say? We can conclude x equal to minus 1 is a point of inflection. Okay. Therefore, x equal to minus 1 is a point of inflection. Now we can consider the next point, 2 by 7. 2 by 7 is a proper fraction and the value of this fraction lies between 0 and 1. More than 0 and less than 1. Already we checked the point 0. 0 is sufficiently close to and to the left of 2 by 7. So here the sign is positive. F dash of x sign is positive. And we can take the number which is sufficiently close to and to the right of 2 by 7. Let it be 1. So when x equal to 1, f dash of x, sign of f dash of x that we have to find. 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 1 cube is again minus 1. So negative. Then 1 plus 1 the whole square, square positive. 7 into 1 is 7. 7 minus 2, 5 positive. So minus into plus. Overall sign is negative. So here we can write negative. That means f dash of x changes sign from positive to negative as x increases through 2 by 7. Okay, then by first derivative test we can conclude x equal to 2 by 7 is a point of local maxima. Okay, therefore x equal to 2 by 7 is a point of local maxima. So these two parts are over. Then local minima. One more point is there that we can check. The left of 2, the sign is negative. We have to take a number which is sufficiently close to and to the right of 2. Let it be 3. And when x equal to 3, the sign of f dash of x. 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 cube is 1 positive. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 square 16 positive. 7 into 3. 7 into 3, 21. 21 minus 2, 19 positive. So the overall sign is positive. Okay, so here positive. So the change is from negative to positive. F dash of x changes sign from negative to positive as x increases through the point 2. So what we can conclude? So by first derivative test we can conclude x equal to 2 is a point of local minima. Okay, therefore x equal to 2 is a point of local minima since f dash of x changes sign from negative to positive as x increases through 2. Clear? Now we move on to question number 14. Find the absolute maximum and minimum values of the function given by f of x equal to cos square x plus sin x. X belongs to closed interval 0 pi. Okay. So let us find the derivative first. Cos square x plus sin x. So f dash of x is equal to 2 cos x into cos x derivative minus sin x, then sin x derivative cos x. From this we can take one cos x common. So cos x into minus 2 sin x plus 1. To find the critical point, we can equate f dash of x to 0. So f dash of x equal to 0 implies cos x into minus 2 sin x plus 1 is equal to 0. Or we can write cos x equal to 0 or minus 2 sin x plus 1 is equal to 0. Cos x equal to 0 implies x equal to pi by 2. Okay, since x lies between 0 pi, that means in the two quadrant, first quadrant and second quadrant. So the only value which satisfies cos x equal to 0 in between 0 and pi is pi by 2, 90 degree. Okay, so that's all. Then the next is minus 2 sin x plus 1 equal to 0, and which implies 2 sin x equal to 1 and sin x equal to 1 by 2. Okay, sin x equal to 1 by 2. Sin x is positive in two quadrant, first quadrant and second quadrant. So here we can write sin x is equal to 1 by 2 implies x equal to 1 value is pi by 6. Pi by 6 lies in the first quadrant, and find the second value. That means in the second quadrant we have to find the value as pi minus theta. Okay, first quadrant and second quadrant. Let us take the interval 0 pi. So in the first quadrant the value is theta, here it is pi by 6, and in the second quadrant pi minus theta. Sin pi minus theta equal to sin theta. Okay, so using the result, here we can write sin pi by 6 is equal to sin pi minus pi by 6, which is equal to sin 5 pi by 6. Okay, that means sin pi by 6 will be equivalent to sin 5 pi by 6, and this value 5 pi by 6 lies in the second quadrant. So we can take the values of x are, therefore x is equal to first one 0, this one 0, then pi by 6, x equal to pi by 6, and the next one is 5 pi by 6. So these are the values of x. Okay. Now we have to find the values of f of x when x equal to 0, x equal to pi by 6 and x equal to 5 pi by 6. Along with we have to find the values at 0 and pi, and we can compare the values. Okay. First of all we can find f of 0. Here it is cos square 0 plus sin 0. Cos 0 is 1, so 1 square plus sin 0 0, 1 plus 0 1. Then f of pi by 6, which is equal to cos square pi by 6 plus sin pi by 6. Cos square pi by 6, cos pi by 6 is root 3 by 2, so root 3 by 2 the whole square plus sin pi by 6 is 1 by 2, which is equal to 3 by 4 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to, here we can cross multiply, 3 2s are 6, 6 plus 4 into 1 4 by 8, 10 by 8, which gives 5 by 4, and f of 5 pi by 6, which is equal to cos square 5 pi by 6, then plus sin 5 pi by 6. Cos square theta means cos theta the whole square, so here we can write cos of pi minus pi by 6 the whole square. Okay, 5 pi by 6 can be written as pi minus pi by 6. On cross multiplication we get what? 5 pi by 6. Here also sin pi minus pi by 6. Cos pi minus theta is minus cos theta, since cos theta is negative in the second quadrant. So minus cos pi by 6 the whole square. Here sin pi by 6, because sin pi minus theta is equal to sin theta, since sin x is positive in the second quadrant. And the value of cos pi by 6 is root 3 by 2. Here minus square is positive, root 3 by 2 the whole square. Then plus sin pi by 6, 1 by 2. So 3 by 4 plus 1 by 2. As in the previous one, we get the value as what? 5 by 4. Now we have to find the values of f of x at endpoints in the intervals. Here 0 and pi, 0 we already find it out. So the remaining is pi. So f of pi is equal to cos square pi plus sin pi. We know cos pi is minus 1, so minus 1 the whole square, and sin pi is 0. So the value is 1. Now we can compare the values we got in each and every step. Here the values are 1, 5 by 4, again 5 by 4, again 1. Okay, that means 5 by 4 is the maximum value. 5 by 4 is more than 1. Okay, so the absolute maximum value is 5 by 4 at the points 5 by 6 and 5 pi by 6, and the absolute minimum value is 1 at 0 and pi. That we can conclude. Therefore, the absolute maximum value is 5 by 4 at x equal to 5 by 6 and 5 pi by 6, and the absolute minimum value is 1 at x equal to 0 and pi. Okay. Here the next question is, show that the altitude of a right circular cone of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius r is 4r by 3. So we have to prove the altitude or the height of a right circular cone of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius small letter r is 4r by 3. So we can draw a figure on sphere, then a cone is inscribed in this sphere. Here we can consider the radius of the cone as capital R and the height as capital H. Here we can mark the center of this sphere and we can join the radius. Okay, it is given as small letter r. So this much length will be, total it is h, and this portion is the radius r. So h minus r. Okay, here it is a right triangle. Then mark O, A, B. So here we can write, let capital R be the radius and H be the height of the inscribed cone. Height of the cone. Okay. Now from the figure, what we can write? In right triangle OAB, we can apply Pythagoras theorem. Here r square plus base square plus altitude square is equal to hypotenuse square. Okay, so r square plus h minus r the whole square, r square plus h minus small letter r the whole square, which is equal to small r square. We can expand, so r square plus h square minus 2hr plus r square equal to r square. Here we can cancel this r square. From this we can write r square, capital R square is equal to 2hr minus h square. Okay. Now we can find the volume. Volume of the cone. Volume of the cone V is equal to 1 by 3 pi, here the radius we take it as capital R, so R square, and height small h, 1 by 3 pi R square h. Now we can replace the value of R square here, that is V is equal to 1 by 3 pi into 2 HR minus h square into h, that is 1 by 3 pi into 2, this h we can multiply, 2r h square, then minus h cube. You can take the derivative, b dash is equal to 1 by 3 pi into, here we are going to differentiate with respect to h, okay, differentiating with respect to h, 1 by 3 pi into 2 2s are 4, 4rh minus 3h square. Now let's take the second order derivative v double dash, which is equal to 1 by 3 pi into 4r into 1, 4r, then minus 3 2s are 6, 6h. First order derivative we can equate to 0, v dash equal to 0 implies 1 by 3 pi into 4rh minus 3h square equal to 0. That is 1 by 3 pi into, here we can take on h common, h into 4r minus 3h equal to 0, which implies h is equal to 0 or 4r minus 3h is equal to 0. Here h is the height, so h cannot be 0, but h not equal to 0, therefore what we can write, 3h is equal to 4r, or h is equal to 4r by 3. Now we have to find the sign of v double dash when h is equal to 4r by 3. Okay, so when h is equal to 4r by 3, v double dash is equal to 1 by 3 pi into 4r minus 6 into 4r by 3. This 3 and 6 we can cancel 2. That is 1 by 3 pi into 4r minus 8r, which gives 1 by 3 pi into minus 4r, clearly it is less than 0. So the second order derivative is less than 0, which means what? It is maximum. The function attains its maximum value at the critical point. So here what we can conclude? The volume is maximum when h is equal to 4r by 3. That we have to prove. Okay. Therefore, volume is maximum when h is equal to 4r by 3. Okay. Now we move on to question number 17. Show that the height of the cylinder of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius capital R is 2r by root 3. Also find the maximum volume. Okay. So here the height of the cylinder of maximum volume that can be inscribed in a sphere of radius R. A cylinder is inscribed in a sphere of radius R. So we have to draw a cylinder inside the sphere. Okay. Here we can mark one line. Let it be the center of the sphere. Mark the point as O. O be the center of the sphere, and the sphere is of radius R. So here we can mark capital R, here also R. Let the height of the cylinder be h and the radius of the cylinder be small letter r. So the total length, here if we mark A and B, the length AB will be r plus r. Okay, r is the radius of the cylinder, so AB is the diameter, 2r. Okay, and here we can mark C. BC is the height of the cylinder, let it be h. And AC is the diameter of the sphere, 2 into capital R. So these are the dimensions. So first we can write, let R be the radius and h be the height of the cylinder. Therefore, from the figure we can write, in a right triangle ABC, AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. That is 2R the whole square plus H square equal to 2 into capital R the whole square. 4R square plus H square equal to 4R square. 4R square is equal to 4 into capital R square minus H square. For R square is equal to 4R square minus H square divided by 4. Now we can find the volume of the cylinder. Let it be V. So volume is equal to pi R square H. Pi R square H. In the place of R square we can replace the value. So pi into 4R square minus H square divided by 4 into H. Or we can write pi into 4R square H minus H cube divided by 4. Okay. Now we can differentiate this one with respect to H. Differentiating with respect to H. dV by dH is equal to pi by 4 is a constant that we can write first. Pi by 4 into 4R square into derivative H is 1. That is 4R square minus H cube derivative 3H square. Okay. And we can find the second order derivative d square V by dH square is equal to pi by 4 into 4R square. 4R square is a constant, so derivative 0. Minus 3 into H square derivative 2H. So minus 6H. Or we can cancel these two values, 2, 3. Minus 3 pi H divided by 2. Clearly it is less than 0. Now we can equate first order derivative to 0. dV by dH equal to 0 implies here pi by 4 into 4R square minus 3H square equal to 0. Or 4R square is equal to 3H square. Or H square is equal to 4R square divided by 3. And H is equal to root of 4R square by 3, which gives 2R divided by root 3. H is equal to 2R divided by root 3. Now we can check the sign of the second order derivative at this point. So when H is equal to 2R by root 3, d square V by dH square equal to, here we can replace the value, minus 3 pi by 2 into 2R by root 3. This 2 and 2 we can cancel, 3 and root 3 cancel, here root 3. That is minus root 3 pi R. And clearly it is less than 0. Therefore we can conclude volume is maximum when H is equal to 2R by root 3. Understood? Now we move on to the last question. Show that the height of the cylinder of greatest volume, which can be inscribed in a right circular cone of height h and semi-vertical angle alpha, is 1/3 that of the cone, and the greatest volume of cylinder is 4 by 27 pi h cube tan square alpha. So here a cylinder is inscribed in a right circular cone. So first we can draw a cone. And inside the cone we can draw a cylinder. Okay, here cylinder is inscribed in a right circular cone of height h. The total height of the cone is small letter h. And the semi-vertical angle, for that here we can mark on perpendicular or the height. This angle is known as the semi-vertical angle. Here it is alpha. Okay. Let us take the radius of the cylinder as capital R and the height of the cylinder as capital H. So here we can mark this much distance as total, it is small letter h. So h minus this h, capital H, small h minus capital H. And we can mark the triangle as A, B, C. Okay. So let R be the radius and H be the height of the cylinder. Now from the figure, in right triangle ABC, we are going to write tan alpha. Here tan alpha equal to tan theta is opposite side by adjacent side. So here it is BC by AB, and BC here it is capital R, and AB is H minus H, small h minus capital H. And from this we can write capital R equal to H minus H into tan alpha. Okay. Now we can find the volume. Volume of the cylinder is pi r square h. So pi capital R square capital H. And we can replace the value of R. So pi into h minus h the whole square tan square alpha into h. Pi tan square alpha we can write first. And we can expand this one using the identity a minus b the whole square. So h square minus 2hh then plus h square into h. This h we can multiply. Pi tan square alpha h square h minus 2h capital H square plus h cube. Okay, so this is the volume. Now we can find the derivative, first derivative and second derivative. Here we are going to differentiate with respect to h, differentiating with respect to capital H. So dv by dh equal to pi tan square alpha then into h square into 1, small h square, then minus 2 2s are 4, h square derivative 2h, so 4hh, then plus h cube 3h square. Now take the second order derivative d square v by dh square, pi tan square alpha into, here it is a constant derivative 0, 4h into h, this capital H derivative 1, so minus 4 small letter h, then plus 6h capital H. Okay, it is equal to pi tan square alpha into minus 4h plus 6h. So now we got the values of dv by dh and d square v by dh square. In order to find the critical point, we have to equate dv by dh to 0. So dv by dh equal to 0 implies pi tan square alpha into h square minus 4hh plus 3h square equal to 0. From this we can write 3h square minus 4hh plus h square equal to 0. We can consider this as a quadratic in capital H. For that we can split the middle term. So 3h square minus 3hh minus 1hh plus h square, which is equal to 0. Minus 3hh minus 1hh. which gives minus 4 HH. Clear? From the first term we can take one 3 capital H common. The remaining is H minus small h. Here we can take one minus small letter h common. So minus h into capital H minus small h, which is equal to 0. Now overall h minus h is common. So h minus h into 3h minus h is equal to 0. Which gives capital H is equal to small h, or 3 capital H is equal to small h. Or we can write capital H is equal to h by 3. Here h is equal to small h is not possible because capital H is the height of the cylinder and small h is the height of the cone. Okay, so this is not possible. H not equal to h. Therefore, what? H is equal to h by 3. Now we can check the sign of the second order derivative when capital H is equal to small h by 3. So when h is equal to h by 3, d square v by d h square equal to pi tan square alpha, then minus 4h plus 6 into small h by 3. 3 and 6 we can cancel 2. So pi tan square alpha into minus 4h plus 2h. That is pi tan square alpha into minus 2h, which is less than 0. Therefore, what we can conclude? Therefore, volume is maximum when capital H is equal to h by 3. That means the height of the cylinder is 1 by 3 of the height of the cone. Okay, this is the first part. So, height of the cylinder is 1/3 the height of cone. Okay. Now the second part is we have to find the maximum volume. So the maximum volume is equal to V. We know the value of V, pi tan square alpha, then into h square h. So here h square into capital H is small h by 3. So h by 3, then minus 2h square, that is h by 3 the whole square, then plus h cube, that is plus h by 3 the whole cube. Okay, so V is equal to pi tan square alpha into h cube by 3, then minus 2h into h square by 9, then plus h cube by 27. Okay, or we can write pi tan square alpha, then h cube by 3, 2h cube by 9, h cube by 27. That is V is equal to pi tan square alpha into, in order to simplify this one, we can make the denominator same. Here 27 is the LCM, 9 3s are 27. So you can multiply both numerator and denominator by 9. 9 h cube by 27. Here we can multiply by 3. 3 2s are 6. 6 h cube by 27. Then plus h cube by 27. Now we can easily simplify this one. V is equal to pi tan square alpha. 27 is the common denominator. 9 h cube minus 6 h cube plus h cube. Okay, that is pi tan square alpha into 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 h cube divided by 27. So the volume can be written as 4 by 27 pi h cube tan square alpha. That we have to prove. The volume of the cylinder is 4 by 27 pi h cube into tan square alpha. Understood? So this finishes the exercise as well as the chapter applications of derivatives. Thanks for watching. Thank you.